Today, we're discussing everything you need to know before upgrading your Tacoma suspension. Because when it comes to handling, ride quality, and off-road performance, suspension changes everything. Today, we're at Dirt King's new facility, and with me is Dustin, owner and co-founder of Dirt King. How's it going, Dave?
Dude, it's good to have you, man. So we're going to be breaking down the most common questions that people have before upgrading their Tacoma suspension. When you over-articulate that ball joint, it's gonna break the neck of it.
Fourth gens get a little more.
The fourth gens, these things are impressive. We're gonna start with mid-travel, what that actually means, and why it's such a game changer. We have here our latest kits that we've developed. We have our MT Trail Runner, which is meant for the daily driver and someone that wants to go out and have fun on the weekend trails. Then we have our MT Pre-Runner, which is the best balance of on-road and off-road performance. It's just the ultimate package right here. So what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be able to get you in the car and the viewers and be able to show you our development process. So we're gonna put you through the ringer, we're gonna put you on the road course, we're gonna get you out in the dirt, we're gonna show you what goes into it.
We're gonna be answering a lot of questions. I'm gonna be geeking out with Dustin and his entire team. There's gonna be a lot of information, so make sure to use the chapter markers below. You're not gonna wanna miss a single one. You ready?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right, guys, real quick, we're gonna be doing some frequently asked questions, questions that get asked all the time. We're gonna answer them all today. First one on the list, what's the best suspension setup for my Tacoma?
Okay, so pretty broad question. I'll answer this in short. Mid-travel. Mid-travel is the way to go. It checks a lot of the boxes. That's where most people end up, is with mid-travel suspension. There's a lot of other options out there, but a lot of them will come with trade-offs.
So why not a spacer lift?
The common problems with spacer lift is poor ride quality, and what we see frequently is when people put those spacer lifts in, they're maxing out the OEM upper control arms and they're breaking the ball joints. They're either breaking the stud or they're popping them out of the socket, and it'll cause a whole suspension failure.
What is it about the spacer lift that's making all that stuff break though?
They're basically just jamming this in there and making it longer versus adding preload or changing spring rate. They're just simply trying to extend the overall length, and that's not the way to go about it.
What about spindle lift?
It's not a terrible option. The downsides of a spindle lift is it's two-wheel drive only, and you're gonna have commonly tire wear, uneven tire wear. You're gonna see it on the inside of the tire, you're gonna have to rotate them often to prevent that tire wear from just eating up the tire.
And then the last question I have for you is, what about a bracket lift?
Man, I'm against those. If you want to have less compromises, then stay away from that. You're typically chopping up the chassis to fit the brackets in there, to drop the dip, to do all this, and sometimes it's not reversible. The other downside is that with these added brackets and the way this is all set up, they're not always engineered the best. You end up getting creaks, things shift around, it's noisy, and the ride quality is not good.
All right, Dustin, what's the difference between budget and premium suspension? I know we kind of touched a little bit when I asked you about the different ways of lifting it. What's the difference there?
Really, it's gonna be durability and performance. That's what you're gaining, that's what you're paying for. You're getting a premium product that can withstand abuse and that can actually be capable.
Now, why is it that it lasts longer than the other ones?
It comes down to the quality of the product that you're putting in there. You're not gonna be able to get that cheap product and get this type of quality. Like the prices that we have, they justify what goes into it. So talking about our kit specifically, this is our entry-level kit, and what's great about this is we have very durable ball joints. We have maintenance-free, greaseless bushings. We have a chromoly construction. It's a very durable product, low maintenance, little to none actually. Just grease this once a year, and it's something that will hold up to damn near anything you can throw at it. This whole vehicle will crumble around this suspension.
All right, Dustin, how much should I lift my Tacoma? 2 inches, 3 inches? Some people even ask if they can lift it 12 inches, 6 inches. It gets wild, dude. What do you advise?
Let's forget about the 6 and 12. Let's throw it out the window because you're at the wrong place if that's what you want. When it comes to lifting the Tacoma, we'll talk about the 24 and up specifically. My preference would probably be the 2-inch up front and 1 inch in the rear. And what that does, it levels the vehicle and you can put 35-inch tires on it. My feeling is these vehicles came a little low from the factory. Typically there's more rake in them. There's not much rake in these newer Tacomas. And so it only takes 1 inch of lift to level it. It's kind of uncommon. But what they did is they switched to a coil spring rear suspension. I'm assuming that had something to do with it. Going back to that, 2-inch lift up front, 1-inch lift in the rear, 35-inch tires is my preference. Now, if you want to just simply lift the front, not touch the rear, and run a little bit smaller tire size and get better gas mileage, then go with just 1 inch up front, level it, and go with some, 33s, 34s, but keep it under 35s. 35s with 1 inch lift up front. it's filling out that wheel well and it just looks too low.
But the pre-runner, you can also go, if you wanted to add a little preload and get it to 3 inches. Would you advise against that?
I suggest against that. I would say probably going up to a max of 2.5. And the reason why I say that is because as you keep going up in lift, you're compromising ride quality. There's that fine line of lift and ride quality. And that's that thing that I was kind of mentioning that we really strive at. When we level these vehicles, we make them ride better than factory, and that's really hard to do because you give up a lot when you lift a vehicle.
So what would be the ideal setup? Because I know you talked about tire size,
yes.
35s, you talked about 2 inches in the front, 1 in the back to level it off. What would be the recommended offset?
For the 24 and up Tacomas, I would say a plus 25 would be ideal. And what that will do is that will give you like a flush with the fender. If you want to poke out a little bit, you could do a 0 offset, but I like the look of having it kind of flush with the fender. And the advantage too of not having the wheel stick out further is as you turn and that sweeps, you have to clearance more up in here, especially the 35.
And the more negative you go, the more you're gonna have to start cutting because it's sticking.
You'll start trimming up in here more. So a negative or a 0, it's
the max you would go.
The max, and I mean, I really plus 25 is where it's at.
This next question is one that I had when I started 13 years ago. Do I need an upper control arm?
Yes, absolutely.
Why?
When you're going with an extended shock, you need upper control arms because what's happening is the factory upper control arm is not intended to have that much articulation, and you max out this ball joint. When you max out this ball joint and this is a limiting factor, that's when bad things happen, especially because the OEM ball joints are not built durable like our aftermarket ones are.
What are some of the bad things that you're mentioning?
So when you over articulate that ball joint, it's gonna break the neck of it, or it's gonna pop the ball out of the socket on the ball joint. So not only do we reposition this and have more articulation in our ball joint, we also reposition where this ball joint is, because as you can see, vehicles have anti-dive. And what happens is when you change the lift, it's moving this, which is changing your suspension geometry. You have to reposition this. And I know I'm getting a little technical here, but that's what we're trying to go over. So we have to reposition this and you add the caster back in so you have proper alignment specs.
I love that we get to share this with you guys because I've been wanting to do this video for the longest time, and it's an honor to be here with Dustin and doing this. Real quick, I'm gonna throw you a curveball here. Let's say we put a Bilstein shock in here.
Yes.
Right? Customer gets a 2-inch lift.
Yep.
Will your upper control arms work with someone else's coilover?
Yes, absolutely. It'll work with it. Unless you're putting a massive shock in there that needs an upper control arm designed for that. There's shock manufacturers that will put a 3.0 shock in there.
Yes.
Like on the previous gen Tacomas.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I'm like, that's the worst thing you can do. Put your hand up in here.
Oh, dude, there's no space.
It's tight. It's very tight. And so when you go with that much larger of a coil, you're limiting the travel. So they have to shorten the overall extended length of their shock so that the upper control arm does not collide into the coil.
So with a 3.0, this upper wouldn't work because it would just rub there.
Yep, and the other downside is that if you had that larger coil, in order to clearance that, and you're running this coil this way, well now this tube is out further and you start to rub on tires, and then you have to limit your tire size. You can't run, say, a 35 because you start rubbing on the upper control arm.
So that brought another question. Up to what size coilover is this gonna fit?
It's application specific. So that's what's great about us having our shocks and our upper control arms. They're designed in unison. So they're meant to pair with one another.
I think you guys are one of the first.
There's 1 or 2 other that do it, but they ain't doing it like we're doing it. Suspension's fun because there's just so many different things. And this one was the first time that we had something unique, like the way that they set the OEM alignment. So if you look at the front of a new Tacoma, you'll see the top of the tires are sticking out.
Yes.
Yes.
Why is that?
We tried to figure it out, and we have a few, little insider knowledge, right?
Dude, that drives me nuts.
Yeah, so when we designed our suspension, we're getting rid of that. We're gonna do just like all of our other stuff. We're gonna set our tires how they should be, perfectly vertical, right? And so that our suspension's set up for that. And we provide our alignment sheets that call that out.
I love that.
So that alignment shops can go off of our spec and not run it off the OE spec.
Guys, that is huge, and you have no idea how helpful that has been for me. I'm always on the road. I get to different shops, and dude, when you give them the sheet, they're just like, cool, this is something I can trust.
Yeah.
Super cool. All right, Dustin, so I know this is a big one. Can I just put long travel, lower control arms, and just call it long travel?
We get asked this a lot, and I understand why people ask this, because if you look at our suspension system, it looks similar to our long travel, but it's not. What makes long travel is when you make it wider. And so if you were to put a long travel lower on here, your wheel would be sitting like this. because it's just the lower that's extending out. Our long travel kits have longer extended upper control arms, lower control arms, brake lines, and tie rod extensions. So it's all one package. People think that they're working their way up to long travel, but it's not. You gotta get the whole package together.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Someone that their final goal is long travel.
Yes.
Right? They don't have the money right now. They're saving for it.
Yes.
Would you advise them to, let's say, start out with a ball joint upper and then work up to buying the long travel kit, or not investing in that, saving first and then getting the long travel?
Saving. If you know you're gonna be there, then wait. Unless you find a good deal on some mid-travel suspension and that's happy to hold you over. But for the most part, if you're considering it, we see people coming back and it's like, you just bought this a year ago, you know, you're already putting money into long travel.
I see
so
that.
I would say wait it out.
I see that a lot, guys, too, is like, patience is key here.
Yes.
Like, just wait a little longer, save that extra. If long travel is truly what you want, right? Yeah. Save that.
And like what you're saying, we've tried multiple times, and we're still trying on the shock side. Upper control arms, we even consider that. Is there a way that you can sell the upper control arm and you can bolt on an extension? There's no legit way that you can convert upper control arms or lower control arms to long travel. But shocks, on the other hand, we're looking at how we could possibly configure the internals to where if you want to go from this to long travel, you pull out internal spacer. So we're working on that. We're trying to, but it's hard. It's hard. So we have intent. We have the intent to do so, and if we don't do it, it's just because we're giving up too much on one side or the other.
This one's for those that are just starting out here. Real quick, what is long travel?
Long travel is typically around 3 inches wider per side, 3 to 3.5, but it's when you extend the front track width. It's when you make the front end wider.
And what does that do to the truck?
What it does is simply imagine just this line. See these lines? Just imagine them longer, and the sweep, you're gaining all that suspension travel as you make that longer.
Cool.
Yep.
Guys, I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked that you guys are all learning this, because we're packing all this video with information.
Okay, so let me give you numbers, because I didn't give you that. So mid-travel, specifically for the 24 Tacoma, is right around 9.5 inches.
Okay.
Long travel, we're still working on it.
Wait, let's start with stock. What's stock? How much travel do you get?
6.5, roughly.
6.5. So then with your mid-travel, you're going to 9.5.
Yes. Yes.
That's crazy.
It's pretty wild. And so, and that travel is all gained, for the most part, all down.
Okay.
And then for long travel, to recap, 9.5 for mid-travel on our system. It could vary for other people's. And then for long travel, it's around 13.5.
And then third gen, what, are we also at 13 inches of travel with the long travel for the third gens?
I want to say those are 12.5.
12.5.
Yep.
Wow, so the fourth gens get a little more.
The fourth gens, these things are impressive. They're really impressive. And like you're gonna see, the mid-travel is beyond impressive.
Oh, dude. All right, Dustin, so dude, what would be the best setup for, let's say, overlanding, camping?
It depends. If you're adding a lot of weight, 2 5s, because you can get the control for the additional weight. If you don't have a lot of additional weight, it's gonna be the 2 O's. This is specifically for the product line that we offer, MT Pre-Runner and MT Trail Runner. If you're doing overlanding and you just have a few things in the bed, the 2 O's hands down are the way to go.
So just for the viewers to clarify, the 2 5s is your pre-runner, the MT pre-runner kit, and then the 2 O's is your MT trail runner kit.
Correct, yes.
So if I'm a heavy overlander, I got my bed rack, tent, rear bumper, front bumper winch, all this crazy stuff, you would actually recommend your MT pre-runner kit.
Yes, with the 2 5s, and you have the compression adjuster, so you can also dial in a little control there too. But you'll want that because you don't want the compliance that the 2 O's have with that additional weight. It's gonna be a little too plush, a little too soft, a little too much body roll.
Cool, so if you're someone that just doesn't really have bed rack, tent, just throws, you know, the camping gear, fishing gear in the back, you like to go on these trails, the trail runner would be the way to go.
Yes, compliant, smooth off-roading, and that's just for more mild, slower speed. If you're picking up the pace, that's where the MT Pre-Runner kit would come in.
If you're someone like me, I like to go fast, I like to push the limit, right? And in the desert, what would you recommend for me?
No doubt, our MT Pre-Runner kit. That's what it's for. If you're gonna drive your truck on the road and wanna have tons of fun off-road, that's where that kit shines.
What if I just want the perfect daily driver ride?
Yep. Oh man, I love this one because I love this kit. And this is what we're looking at right here, our MT Trail Runner kit. What it is that it's 2 O's, it's our tubular uppers, it's a cost-effective kit, and it is the most plush ride that you'll get. It gets rid of the factory rake, it levels the vehicle, and it's just a good, clean ride, smooth, good for light off-roading. It's a great suspension package. So with that said, I think this is a perfect segue to introduce you to Mark, get a little more knowledge about our tuning process, and then after that, let's get you in the vehicles so that you can experience these two kits.
Dude, let's go. I want to meet Mark. Man, I've been hearing great things about him.
All right, Mateo, I'm excited for you to finally meet Mark. So you guys are gonna get along really well. So Mark has a really awesome background. If you can share a little bit with him, but I'm gonna leave it to you guys to chop it up a little bit. And Mark, you tell him what you do.
Hello everyone, my name is Mark. We are here in San Diego and I am a vehicle dynamics consultant. I've been working with Dirt King for a little over 2 years now. Before working here at Dirt King, I had the distinct pleasure and truly grateful for the opportunity to work for Toyota, a wonderful company. Was there for 35 years. And about 30 of those years, I was in vehicle dynamics, chassis development, specifically for all Toyota and Lexus product. I've developed every Toyota and every Lexus that exists. I've worked and tuned every Tacoma generation.
I was a baby when you were working on this stuff.
Oh, you're killing me, man. I escalated up through their highest levels of education for driver training, and that was what's called S2 inside of Toyota. At the time, there was only 2 S2 drivers in North America for Toyota, and I was one of them. What was that point in my career where I could truly understand the difference between development drivers and great development drivers? And that was very clearly when I went to the Nürburgring. So I was part of a select team that gathered in the Nürburgring annually. One member from every country and a couple folks from Japan. We'd get there and we'd train and tune, work at the ring. I can remember my first time going to the ring. It was in 1997, working with what I would consider to be the world's best drivers, the development drivers from companies like Porsche and Mercedes and BMW and Ferrari and Lamborghini. And I realized just how good they were and how good I wasn't. It was a serious wake-up call. Eventually, over the years, as I trained and got better and better and better at the ring, I was able to get to that level where I considered myself to be one of the best, certainly within Toyota, but also driving among the best and working among the best who are at the ring every day. That's their office. Yeah, boy, what a different world. So coming from a highly process-driven, maybe the most process-driven automotive company in the world, Toyota, right? To bring that level of development into the aftermarket, that's been my goal. When I first got into this space and started working with some companies that are big names, and I saw their processes, the manner in which they were developing products, it was eye-opening. Let's just say eye-opening. And I remember driving a number of vehicles from big companies. And the first thing that came to my mind was, did anyone actually drive this? Because there was just a lot of room for improvement. So, want to know a little bit about what we do?
Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Right on. So about 30 years ago, we started to develop what we called a standardized development process. It's taking everything that I've learned over 35 years of developing chassis and boiling it down to what creates the best product for the customer. And I can share with you exactly how we do that line by line. So what we have here, this is our development Bible, okay? And this is everything we evaluate for. And it's all in engineering terms, because ultimately we want to think about the vehicle and how it's moving from an evaluation perspective and engineering perspective. We want to try and minimize the subjective, the feelings piece. So when we start the development process, right, we start with a whole bunch of standardization. We set the vehicle up for things you wouldn't even think about, like tire pressure down to ½ pound. Fuel load, we stay within a quarter tank all the time to keep the loading in the vehicle consistent. How many people are in the vehicle, where they sit.
So how do you do it so that you can tune the suspension specifically to the general public, like our customer base?
Perfect. So when we begin the process, right, we have deep discussions for every class of vehicle, and we decide who is the standard user, who is our customer, who is Dirt King's customer for this vehicle. How do we think they're going to use the vehicle, right? Are they going to carry ice chest in the back? Are they going to have 200-pound bumpers front and rear? And then we set the vehicle up to mimic what we believe is the majority of the market. And we tune around that. And it's very, very specific. Every vehicle that happens on. When we begin the process, we start by testing the vehicle on its OE settings. So we get the vehicle in, we dial it all in for standardization, and then we run it through our full evaluation process. Second step, we do the same thing, but we do it with a key external company. It's like one of our competitors. So we put their product on, we understand where they are. Why would we do that? Like, what's the point? We're developing our product, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's because we want to make sure any professional company that takes this seriously, that knows what they're doing, is going to benchmark OE, they're going to benchmark the competitors, and they're going to shoot to be best in class. And that's what we do every time.
That's awesome.
We can guarantee it. So we have what we call the Dirt King DNA. And the Dirt King DNA is our specific line item targets, numeric values that come in on every single evaluation item we do on and off-road. In total, when we evaluate a vehicle, we evaluate over 50 items every time we drive the vehicle on and off-road. Each one of those 50 items has a numeric value, a target. That target,
that's insane.
That target is the result of the DNA.
Guys, real quick, my truck is right behind Mark, and I know that it's got the pre-runner edition, and I just can't wait.
We've had a good time in your truck this week.
Yeah, that scares me. I love it, but it scares me, especially seeing how Mark is.
The DNA that I spoke of, right? We craft that around 2 5s, and then we craft around 2 O's, the trail runner kit and the pre-runner kit. The DNA for each of those is different, because we want to promise different things to our customers with each of those products. You'll be able to see that when we drive it today. I'll point it out to you.
Perfect. Right? So Mark, why would someone want to get an MT pre-runner kit versus the MT trail runner kit?
Yeah, great question. Great question. We spend a lot of time thinking about the customer. Who's going to use this vehicle? How are they going to use it? How much time are they going to spend off-road in it? How much time are they going to daily it, right? They putting the kids in the back, or is it just someone that's using it for a work truck, for instance, right? So the person that would choose the trail runner kit is the customer that's probably going to use it as a family vehicle kind of thing, like a daily, and they're going to have their family in it, they're going to have their kids in the back. On the weekends, they're going to go maybe fishing, camping, maybe a little hunting, that kind of thing. So light off-road, right? But great on the street. That's really the point, is having really high compliance and control on the street while providing good off-road capability. We use a lot of that same philosophy when it comes to the pre-runner, but we shift gears a little bit and we start to emphasize off-road capability, and we make sure that within the tuning of the vehicle and where we set the adjusters, that we can run this thing hard in the desert off-road right out of the box, right? But we also, because we're Dirt King, we have DNA and we promise things to our customers from a performance perspective. It must ride well, it must be stable on the street, it must handle well.
So let me ask you this, Mark. Right now I know we have 2 vehicles that are ready for us, and we're gonna go test both of them.
Right.
Are you telling me that I'm going to be able to tell the difference between these 2 kits? Like, it's actually noticeable?
I'm telling you, you're gonna know the difference between the 2 kits by the time we get out of the parking lot.
Hey,
I'm not kidding.
I don't know if you guys saw that in his face, but the confidence level just said it all. Like, I'm like, all right, I don't need to ask anymore. That's amazing. Let's dive into the spec sheet, man.
Yeah, so this is kind of an interesting piece right here. So this is an actual development vehicle for us, okay? This is our development file. So every vehicle that we work on gets a development file that's unique to that vehicle, and we track every aspect and document every aspect of the ride and the evaluations. This vehicle,
that's crazy,
went through 26 iterations. That means that the shocks came on and off of the vehicle 26 times just to get to the end result on one set of dampers. This was 3 weeks of development. And
it's crazy.
It is nuts. So what you can see here is kind of cool, because this is actually our valve code. This is how we track our changes in the valve codes. The yellow areas are things that we've changed as we've gone along, and we track every valve code. For each valve code, there's a related evaluation sheet that tells us, of the 50 items, where did we do well, where do we need to get better?
Okay.
So we know relative to targets, every time we come back and we drive a valve code, we know exactly what we need to make better.
Dude, that is nuts.
One of the things I think is super cool about this, right, is we did the 2.5s. And I think a lot of people, when they think about the 2.5s and the adjusters, right, the image is, well, I drive it during the week, and then when I want to go to the desert, I dial in a whole bunch of control and I go jam ditches in the desert, right? Which is cool. That's certainly part of it, right? Well, what about if you're just going to tow? What about if you're in your 1500 and you just want to throw an 8,000-pound trailer on the back and tow it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can dial up the rears, add a little bit of control and stability into the vehicle. What if you're just going to drive straight? You're going to drive from here to Texas, and you want a nice cushy ride. Roll them out, make it soft.
So this is awesome that you're touching into this, because as a customer, right, I'm putting my head as a customer. I get this suspension, it's super high tech, it's been developed extremely precisely for the customer. But as a customer, how do I know how to dial it in perfect, for example, like for towing? Or like, let's say I just finished work, I want to hit the desert, I want to get, blow off some steam, go out there, have fun. How do you guys give that information to your customer to know how to tune it to have fun?
So let's start at the beginning. So when we set the dampers up on the adjustables, the 2.5s, okay, every time we set those up, and before we begin tuning, we set the adjusters, the high and low speed compression adjusters, to a very specific space right in the middle of the adjustment range. We do that very intentionally. We do it every time.
Okay.
Okay? And that does not change during the development process. We ultimately check the performance range, but for tuning purposes, we keep the adjusters right in the middle. Why would you think we'd do that?
That way you can go to either spectrum.
That's right.
You go to one side or the other.
That's right. Yeah. So we've given the customer the opportunity to say, I'd like it a little softer today. You're right. Or today I'm going to go jam ditches or tow something heavy. I want it a little firmer today. Right?
So when your customers receive the kits, it's already in the middle setting?
It is. Yeah, right out of the box, it's exactly where
Is that where you would advise customers to leave it at?
100%.
Okay, cool.
100%. You know, I was on the website kind of looking at one of our primary competitors recently. Beautiful equipment. But I noticed there was no data on the website about how to use the adjusters, what the intent of the adjusters was, what happens if you change them.
Yeah, that's been huge. Because
why would you do that? You know, that kind
you have compression and rebound, right? So you guys tell exactly the customer how to adjust both for specific scenarios.
Yes. The other thing I noticed was that one of our primary competitors, we assume, we don't know because we don't have detail, but we assume that they're tuning their shocks with the clickers fully open, so at its softest setting, right? Okay? That's how they deliver the shocks also. We know that when we get the shocks, when a customer gets the shocks, they're full open, softest it can be.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means that the customer has no potential to make it any softer. If they optimize the valve code around the most open or softest setting with the clickers, that's the softest, the most ride comfort that the customer can ever get out of that shock. That's why we dial ours in the middle.
So you're saying that with it being in the middle, even if you go to the softest setting,
yep,
it'll be softer than the competition? Could it be softer than?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. Our clickers are very effective. I could make one change on a clicker and you'd probably feel it, like one click. Yeah.
One thing I noticed is your clickers take longer to click.
Yeah, they're very precise. You got to be really precise with how you move them, right? Yeah. The reason we do that is because we want to make very clear where you are in the range, right? We don't want it to be so quick and easy to turn that you might miscount.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right?
Which was really cool too. I noticed that.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about how we bring feeling into the vehicle. Like, why is that so important, right? People buy product in this segment for a couple of reasons. One, they want it to look good, right? It's got to look awesome. They want to walk away from their truck and turn around and go, wow, right?
Yeah.
That's part of it, for sure.
The bling.
And I'm sorry, we got the sexy kit. It looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So we got that, but we also want to promise the customer when you're driving the vehicle, it makes you smile.
How do you connect numbers to that?
Right. So our DNA, as I mentioned before, kind of leads to that, but we have what I like to call, our development process is what I like to call an engineering formula, okay? What we do is we take some gasoline, we mix it with some hydraulic oil, throw in a little bit of metal, a lot of hard work, and that equals smiles. That's what we get. We have the process, we have the formula.
That's awesome.
That formula is not easy to come by, I'll tell you.
I can imagine.
One of the things I think is completely misunderstood, if you can even find aftermarket that's competent, fundamentally competent, not good, just competent, right? Competence doesn't equal fun. Just because you drive down the road and the vehicle is stable and fundamental and it's okay and there's nothing special, rides well, that's okay, right? It's not gonna be fun. Competence does not equal fun. Competence, the fundamental stability, is the core, it's the base. It's what we must promise the customer, every customer, all the time. We build upon that to bring the fun. Let me ask you a question. If you went out in a vehicle and you went around a corner and the thing kind of rolled weird and it like, woo, that doesn't feel good at all, right? Are you gonna wanna go pick up the pace and jam ditches in the thing? Is it gonna make you wanna go fast?
Yeah, it won't give me that confidence.
That's right. So we gotta give the customer that stability, that confidence first. Then we can build on that with joy, right? And the vehicle talks to you, right? Do you know the difference between understeer and oversteer? Do you know what understeer is?
Yes.
What is it?
When you turn and the car just keeps going straight.
You know how I define it? It's when you see yourself hit the wall.
Oh, snap. That's another
turn, doesn't work, straight in you go.
Yeah.
Right? Oversteer, you don't see yourself hit the wall, right? So the bad thing about understeer can be stable, but the problem is it's not fun. If you go into a corner and you're in the dirt and you turn the steering wheel and you need that thing to turn because you're on 2-track and it's narrow and it doesn't bite in the front, you don't get that rotation you're looking for, what are you gonna do as a driver? Slow down, right? We don't want you to slow down. We want that truck to talk to you and say, let's go.
Yeah.
Right on, let's go,
Damn,
right?
dude,
So the front hooks, we get the rear to turn and go. We can demonstrate that for you. That's how we create fun.
Dude, Mark, I have a lot of questions for you right now, but all I want is to hit the dirt.
Let's go do it.
Let's do it.
Right
First, we're hitting the road, right?
We are.
All right.
4 wheels off on the road.
Oh, that's gonna be sick. All right, sir. I am ready for you. I got a little preview, guys, of what Mark's about to do, and let me tell you.
Let's send this thing.
This guy is wild.
See what we can do on the street.
All right. So setup, what do we have right now? This is the MT pre-runner.
Yeah, these are the 2.5s. Set up in our standard position.
Dude, I can't believe you're doing this right now.
So we're going to follow this corner with large undulations in it. We're going to see how well the vehicle tracks. This is all about stability and confidence in driving the vehicle. So we've got this corner coming up with these large undulations. No problem.
That is nuts.
No problem. Now we're going to drop off this little shelf. One bounce.
It almost feels like it's just planted. It's planted. Like
That's the goal. Massive confidence.
That is I mean, me being passenger, I was honestly scared, guys. That was nuts.
Well, dude, the last time I've done this, it didn't work out well.
Oh, don't tell me that. But that is wild.
All right, Mateo, so now we're in the trail runner. Want to run the course again?
Let's do it. What am I going to feel different?
Right, great question. So the amount of control that we've got in the 2.5s that's keeping the vehicle feel super planted all the time, right? There's a little less of that here. The goal is still the same. The goal is always to keep the vehicle flat and stable at all times, keep the loading on the tires good. It's just that in this case, we let the vehicle move a little bit more. And we do that to allow us to get a little bit more ride compliance for the everyday. Okay? So we give up a little bit of that really big hit, really kind of extreme control. We give up a little bit of that and we transfer that control to a space that helps us with the everyday drive on the small stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait to feel the difference.
So you remember before you mentioned, will I be able to tell the difference? And I said, when we're in the parking lot, you're going to be able to tell the difference. Okay? So I want you to remember that back to that when we were in the parking lot. Now the surface is not the same. Okay, but in the 2.5s, we had that a little bit of that ground hook feel where we could really feel the truck kind of following the surface at low speeds.
I'm with you.
Okay, this has a layer of isolation. It's like we've put 6 inches of foam under the wheels.
Oh, wow.
So
it's
just
gotta be smoother.
So it's just softer and smoother. There's less feel coming. You can even feel the knobbies on the tires a little bit less.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. That's crazy.
Right on.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
So you'll notice more movement through the corner here.
It's also like a little more body roll.
Yeah, a little more body roll.
I feel like a lot of people are gonna like this one.
Yeah,
like
it's good. Feel like kicks a little bit more.
That is crazy how different they are.
Now let's see what we get here. Feel how it bottom?
Yep.
Okay. So, but you can feel the commonality, right? Like you can feel that this vehicle has the same character, fundamental movement and character as that. It's just moved. It's shifted.
Yeah.
It's shifted.
Literally.
Yeah.
So a little bit more body roll, a little bit more smoothness.
But we've still guaranteed all the things that are super important. Right?
Yeah.
This is how the DNA works.
Wow.
Right?
Dude, that's
and
crazy.
if you were to get in a Chevy 1500 that had our 2.0s on it, it would feel very, very similar to this. You would know. Crazy. You'd get in it and go, oh, these are Dirt Kings. The next thing we're going to do is go up the shelf, and this launches us. So what we see is how well the vehicle flies, and does it fly flat, right? Okay. Or do we come off and start doing this?
And it bugs you.
Yep, we do pitching or bouncing, right?
Okay.
And then when we land, we want to see one cycle. It's called critically damped. One cycle, done.
Okay.
One cycle.
Send it. Guys, this going backwards is a completely different monster. Mark did go up this before we started rolling, and it is gnarly. Hope the video does justice, because what Mark is about to do with my truck right now is pretty gnarly.
So one of the things we like to test for is what's called break and corner. Okay. Because this will seem kind of aggressive, but the reality is this is something that people face all the time, right? You're getting off the freeway, you're doing 70 miles an hour, you go around a cloverleaf, you get halfway around the cloverleaf, and traffic is stopped. And you're doing 60 miles an hour in the corner, and you've got to stop right now.
Okay.
Okay? That happens all the time, every day to everybody. Like it's just a normal part of traffic, right?
Yeah.
Well, what if you do that in a lifted truck that doesn't work well, right? What if you do that in a lifted truck that's not dynamically stable, right? You're going to get all kinds of motion. Maybe it's not going to go well, kind of thing, right? We test for it on every vehicle, and we have very specific, rigid requirements for that.
Okay, let's do this.
Let's go ahead and do it. And then we're going to check for understeer, oversteer, and make sure that we can't get this thing sideways. Well, maybe a little sideways. Maybe a little.
Okay, well, that was smooth.
this one right here.
Oh my God.
See how it just continued on its
Yeah.
path? Yeah, that's the goal.
Dude, that's pretty gnarly, like even in a stock vehicle doing that, like putting the truck through that. That's crazy. Oh my God, dude, you're crazy, man.
Cannot upset this baby.
I love
Are you
how
smiling?
Mark-
Are you smiling?
Yeah.
I told you that we turn oil into smiles, right?
I just love seeing how like you're wanting to push it, man. You're pushing it, like that's crazy. That part, that test was gnarly. Let's do this.
Okay, same speeds, same course. Okay, let's see what happens. Feel how it's moving already? Feel the extra movement in the front?
Yeah.
Yep, that's part of it.
Can't believe you're about to do this part right here. Dude, you're doing that at 50 miles per hour. He's turning into the turn, guys.
Braking corner. So
But you have less control, but it's still
it's still there.
It's still there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the point, is we will not give on that. We guarantee
Yeah, no, if
stability.
you
It's-
give on that, like, you know, that's someone's life. That's insane. All right, guys, so real quick, what I just experienced. On the pre-runner, going 50 miles per hour into a, what do you call that turn where it's sort of not that sharp?
Yeah, like an opening radius.
Yeah, so going 50 miles per hour on the pre-runner setup on an open radius turn, and then Mark turning into the turn at 50 miles per hour, full control, 100% there, like all of it.
Doing all the wrong things.
Doing all the wrong things. I couldn't believe that my truck, which is set up on the pre-runner setup, would do that. Then on the Trail Hunter, immediately when I got on it, just a lot smoother right off the bat on the parking lot. And then when he did the same exact thing that I just described, I felt it lose control. I mean, we lost the back.
Yeah, in the braking corner, it slid just a little.
But it was still there. Like as soon as you corrected it,
It hooked back up.
It hooked back up and it was there.
Yeah, and then in the big corners here where I was really leaning on it, it stayed in line, right?
Dude, you just blew my mind, Mark. That's nuts.
That's what they bring me in to do.
That is crazy, guys. We're back at the MT Pre-Runner 2.5 setup. And what are we doing?
Yep, we're gonna jam some ditches in the neighborhood, right?
Let's do it.
So this is our little mini off-road course. People drive to and from through neighborhoods every day when they go home. So this is part of our evaluation process. We want to be what the customer is.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I have a feeling this is gonna be fun. Oh, wow. I thought you were going way too fast for that, dude.
Looks scary coming in.
Yeah, I was
doesn't
like,
it?
whoa.
This isn't gonna go well, right? But completely no problem, right? Yeah.
Dude, I thought we were gonna bottom out.
Did you notice how flat the truck was coming out?
Yeah.
Right? Like
No,
that.
it felt like we hopped over it, but
Yeah.
it was just like a smooth riding.
It's kind of funny because we'll see people like kind of creeping through that, right?
Yeah.
And we're like,
What
Right.
fascinates me is like right now, right? Like chill driving.
Yep.
The suspension is a little bit more on like that stiffer side.
Right.
You get all the feel and
All
all
the
that
feel.
street feel.
yep.
Which makes me think that when we're about to hit this bump, it's about to be as stiff as it gets.
It's
Like,
going to get like really hard.
Yeah, and it
right?
doesn't. And it just-
it's plush.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said something before which caught my attention, which was like something about feeling round.
So we think about the impact that you would feel in something like that. We think about it in engineering terms, which is G feel, right?
Okay.
G is just a measurement of energy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so we can have a G level that we can measure, right? But separate from the level, we can also change the shape of the G. So if we were to graph it, right? Is it pointy or round? Same level, pointy or round.
Wow,
And
that's
so-
crazy.
So we try to make everything round feeling. Even if the G is a little firm, we try to make it round. So we focus a lot on what we call bounce and pitch,
Yeah.
right? Those are the two evaluation areas, things that we speak about. Pitching is literally this movement in the vehicle, pitching
Okay,
back
yep.
and forth like a hobby horse
Yep.
kind of thing. We do everything we can to keep the vehicle in what's called bounce mode. Bounce mode is where the front and rear are working together.
Together.
Like this, right? We want to stay out of pitching and in bouncing. There's a reason for that. It ties back to the customer. And the reason is this, that a customer, a human being, is more sensitive, okay, to this. than they are to this. So if I can keep the truck in bounce mode and the customer is just going pure vertically as opposed to back and forth because the seat is kicking them like this, for them it will be less of an event.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it all gets back. It all gets back.
Heard that, guys? It's all going back to you guys. So all right, we have the MT Trail Runner. Here it goes. That's crazy. So it's a lot smoother. It's a lot smoother, but I feel like the suspension is it wrong if I say that it's traveling more?
No, there's more stroke. Absolutely.
There's more stroke.
Absolutely.
I could feel it coming in.
It's using all
and
the
then
stroke.
coming back up way more, where the other one was less stroke, but it almost felt like we went right through it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more controlled, right?
Yeah.
So you get this feel rather than this feel.
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, currently we're gonna run the MT pre-runner setup.
Yep.
What are we doing?
We're gonna go pitch this thing around a little bit. All right. So we're gonna do a 6-second, a 4-second, and a 2-second lane change. The 2-second lane change is a bona fide like emergency event. For a customer, if they're doing a 2-second lane change, something bad's happening.
Let's do it.
See if we can get it to slide a little bit. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Okay, 6-second. Normal customer lane change. 4-second. Another 4-second. Feel how stable the roll
Yeah,
is?
it's crazy.
Okay, 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Stability control kicked in. It didn't appreciate
That is amazing. Dude, you really push it, man. That was crazy. We got on our side there. Now, I have to say.
So early on, remember when I was talking about the grip on the sidewalls?
Yeah.
I wasn't kidding.
Oh, that's what you meant? All right, Mark. We are in the MT Trail Runner.
And we're going to do this at 50.
50? Nah.
And
oh my God.
So this is 2 seconds is an emergency maneuver for most people. If you're doing a 2-second lane change, something bad's happening, basically.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So we'll start with a 6.
This is scary.
Super simple, right?
That was a 6?
6-second lane change.
Okay.
Another 6-second lane change. 4.
Oh, whoa.
Okay, 2. Ready?
No! I can't believe you just did that, dude. You're crazy, man.
That's what they pay me for. I'm a couple clicks off center, and that's what they pay me for.
Oh my God. I couldn't even
imagine.
Dude,
what's a 2-second lane change?
Wow. Dude, we slid there for a second.
A little bit of slide.
Dude, that's crazy.
The Trail Runner, the 2.0s, right? As we spoke about before in our DNA, they're set up to be a bit more compliant, right? That means that we intentionally choose to allow a little more roll in the vehicle when we do aggressive maneuvers like that. And that roll and the movement associated with that is what you're feeling.
Guys, crazy. So first for this test, we did the MT pre-runner, and now we just finished the MT Trail Runner. Night and day, completely different. I am honestly hooked with the MT pre-runner. Like, I have to say, just the way that it sticks, the way that the vehicle's planted, the way it just wants to be there while you're pushing it, is just, it adds to what you're talking about, right? Where all that data comes into the fun factor. All right, Mark, here we are, another test. This time we're in the dirt.
Yeah, let's get some.
So what's happening now?
Right, so this is our dirt section that we use for development of our pre-runner kit. Just like we do on the street where everything is like really highly controlled, we run certain areas, certain speeds, everything, we remove all the variables, right? So that we can see the performance of the vehicle and not changes in the environment or changes how we're driving it, that kind of thing. So we came out and we created a course, like a little circuit in the desert for ourselves. And we run very specific speeds on every section that we run. And we compare damper to damper, truck to truck. We've run external companies' content out here. Like we understand the course, yeah.
How would you describe the terrain?
Yeah, this section is classic desert. So because the terrain changes as you go, right? Like it's not the same thing for a mile. We're gonna run about a mile down here, and we're gonna run it at 50 miles an hour, which for a short to mid-travel truck is pretty fast. okay?
Let's do this.
And what we're going to look for is how composed. So remember yesterday I talked about the flatness of the body, the skyhook feel, right? So we want the body to stay composed through here. So we're going to cruise through here, and we want the tires to do the work, and we need the tires to stay on the ground, because tires aren't on the ground, we don't got grip.
So is it gonna feel floating?
No.
No.
We're not going to float.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big point, right? Is we want to make sure that the sprung mass, the body stays controlled, but the point is to create comfort and stability and confidence for us, right?
Wow.
And keep the tires on the ground. Because what happens is if you go down here and you're dancing all over the place, like the body's not controlled, and if you don't have enough control in the dampers, that's what you get, is the body starts getting really busy and dancing around. It's hard for the driver to drive the car because you're dancing around inside the vehicle, right? So we keep the body composed so the driver can drive and feel confident. That confidence piece we spoke about yesterday on the street, it's here too.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me.
Does this feel fast?
Oh, this feels, how fast are we going? 58, 59, 60.
Yeah.
60.
Feel how the suspension's working? See how the body stays flat?
Guys, the crazy thing about this is Mark's driving my truck right now.
Look, no hands.
But it feels great.
See how flat it was when it came off there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've still got good control. Like, I feel like I can change direction in the vehicle, right? Totally cool. Easy to drive, confidence. That same thing we spoke about yesterday about having confidence.
Dude, that is nuts.
Right? Cruising through the desert at 60.
It's hard to describe so it's like, wow, dude, that took it like a champ.
That crazy?
That's crazy. That was absolutely insane what I just felt going through this. There was times where I was like, okay, well, we're bottoming out. This is gonna feel really bad. This is gonna be horrible, and just boom.
Were you thinking we were going
was like a little
somersault through the desert?
Dude, we didn't bottom out once.
No.
We didn't bottom out
We didn't
once.
top,
Going
we did-
60 miles per hour through this bumpy
We
section.
didn't bottom, we didn't top.
We didn't buck.
No.
That was beautiful.
I even had hands off once.
You know, the whole time, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking, can I drive?
Your truck did.
All right, Mark, here we are on another course. What are we doing this time?
So this time we're in the middle of the desert, one of our areas where we do development work, right? We've got a jump in front of us. So my goal is to hit the jump as fast as possible.
All right.
So as soon as we get on it, on the mat, here we
I
go.
gotta take the keys away from this guy.
It's your truck, I'm good.
So Mark, let me ask you this, man.
Yep.
This entire time you haven't adjusted the suspension from when we went from street to dirt.
Right,
Everything, all the clickers, everything has stayed the same.
right. Great question, right? Because everyone watches these videos, they think, oh, you adjusted the vehicle, you did something special when you went to the desert, that kind of, totally no. So when we develop, so we have our evaluation process, right? Like yesterday we spoke a lot about the methodical nature of how we develop. It's the same thing in the desert. We have specific speeds on specific courses we run, that kind of thing, right? When we test and develop, we always test with the clickers at the exact same position. We develop and optimize around that middle position on the clickers.
Crazy.
So when we're out here setting course records, we're running in the middle position. You can dial it a little more.
That's sick.
Right.
Guys, Mark just set the record for their test on that last run. How fast did you get?
Right, we test at 55 consistently. That's kind of our bogey. And I got to tell you, I've driven a lot of trucks out here that can't even come close to that.
That's crazy.
2.5-inch lifted trucks that can't run 30 and 40.
And that's good that you're pointing that out, guys, because I know that you might be seeing the videos and you're expecting to get like trophy truck style, performance out of this, and it's a 2.5-inch lift.
Yeah. It's pretty moderate.
For aftermarket, like seeing what it can do and feeling it,
Yeah.
it's 100% worth it.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So we normally test on that section up to 55. We have two sections in there. We run one at 45.
How
one at
fast did you
55.
just get?
We ran over 70 down through there. And actually, the truck was super happy.
Dude, it looked nice.
Yeah.
It
was
looked
fun.
really cool.
It was fun. So
All
what do you
right,
think?
well, let's jump it.
Is it time to get air?
It's time, dude. I want you to send it.
It's go time?
It's kind of scary saying that to Mr. Mark over here.
Here we go.
Let's go. Oh my God! No way! No way! Oh!
You were a little concerned, weren't you? ya.
Yeah. Dude, we were in the
land-
air. It felt like we were there for a little bit. That
Landing was
sick.
sweet.
Yeah, dude, that was
Smooth.
so sick. Wow.
That's awesome.
Dude, that's insane. My hat almost came off.
Truck's happy, are you?
Dude, yes.
Yeah.
That is crazy. All right, cool. Mark, final test. Trail runner, what are we doing?
So, mentioned early on, we've got the 2 specs, right? We've got the trail runner kit, pre-runner kit. And on the street, the course is the same that we use to develop them. The targets are different, the DNA is different. But when it comes to off-road, we have very different trails, very different spaces and areas that we throw the vehicles at. So the image for the trail runner is that guy that's gonna go camping on the weekends, maybe go to a fishing spot, maybe hunting, you know, that kind of thing, taking the family out,
Cool.
that kind of stuff. So we've picked this trail. It's a fairly aggressive trail, but we've had a number of our trail runner kits up here and it does really, really well. One of the things that we look for in the trail runner is a little more isolation. We don't want it like super rigid and bumpy, that kind of thing, right? So we actually add some isolation in, and it's one of the things that's kind of unique between the pre-runner and the trail runner. Actually, the trail runner on something like this is more comfortable than the pre-runner.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Interesting.
So the compliance comes through. Now, if you were to try and run this hard, you'd run out of control. You know, we don't want to suggest that the 2.0s aren't actually capable in dirt, because we've tested them in lots of different situations.
And already what you guys have shown me, they're for sure capable.
Yeah. So this trail, we don't run fast. Like when we go to the desert, we run pretty hard.
Yeah.
So this trail, we run about 20 miles an hour.
Okay.
And
that's
it's still pretty
decent
aggressive.
speed.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, here we go. We're going fishing. We're going fishing, ladies and gentlemen.
See how you can kind of notice how the surface just kind of rolls underneath us and we don't really feel all that. We don't feel all the small rocks and all that.
Yeah.
That's the key. That's
Smooth.
what we're trying to provide, that kind of
Wifey
isolation.
approval. What is it called?
Wife approval factor's high.
Wife approval factor is high for sure.
If you had the family in the car, are you going to drive any harder than this, or is this about what you're going to do?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm the wrong guy to ask that.
Uh-oh.
I'm a little bit of a savage, and my girl's used to it.
I
But
see.
seeing it like as far as like family standpoint.
Yeah.
You're out with your wife. You don't want to get her pissed because then she won't come back out again.
Never again.
Right. Like you want to keep her happy.
Never going to go wheeling with
This
you
is
again.
more. I mean, 20 miles per hour is a good speed. I would say for sure.
Yeah.
I would say comfortable.
Yeah, that's the key.
If I had to choose one word to describe this,
because this gets fatiguing, right? This trail goes for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And if the vehicle is beating you up the whole way, it gets pretty fatiguing.
Yeah. The pre-runner is comfortable in its environment. The trail runner is comfortable in this environment.
Yep. Different uses.
Different uses.
Yep.
All right, Mateo, what'd you think of everything?
Dude, that was nuts. First of all, Mark is nuts.
Seeing
him drive my truck like that made me fall in love with my truck again.
Yep.
So super stoked on the whole experience.
So with everything that you got to experience with our MT Trail Runner and our MT Pre-Runner, on the street, on the dirt, which one are you gonna go with?
You know, for me, I'm for sure gonna have to go with the pre-runner kit. Absolutely loved it on the street.
Yep.
How Mark was able to absolutely push the limit on every single turn. It was insane. You were one with the road and you can feel it all around.
And you got some time, seat time, in the stock Tacomas, doing a little bit of work with Toyota, and now having some seat time in our dirt course. What did you think about the capabilities of that truck?
So as soon as we got into dirt, that's where I love it, right? To go fast, to like push the limit. And again, seeing how it hit the whoops, going from street to dirt was crazy, because on the street it does feel like stiff, right? But not in a bad way. Like stiff in the sense of like you're feeling everything, and that's what you like as a driver, you want that.
You feel the road. It's not completely isolated yet. It's still a comfortable ride. So yes, I know exactly.
You're feeling everything, and then on the dirt, I thought you were gonna feel that kind of same stiffness, but it was a lot smoother, and it was like.
That's where the balance comes in. So on the street, you'll feel the control, you'll feel it planted, you'll feel the grip. And then in the dirt, you're just getting that compliance. It's going through those whoops, it's going through those dips, and it's that perfect flat feel that we're chasing. And so it can go through that and eat up all those inputs.
Experiencing those two things and you guys putting me through that test made me realize that's the kid I want on my truck.
This might be a shocker for you.
I want to know, which one would you go with?
I would be going with the Trail Runner.
Why?
Okay, so here's why I'd be going with the Trail Runner. When I'm off-roading now, you know, it might be with the boys, but we're out in the dunes sometimes, but typically I'll be with the wife and the kid. And when we're out cruising, we're going lower speed, 30 and below. And that's where this shines. This shines, out in Mammoth, out just cruising the trails, and it's compliant. You're not getting crazy. And then for just the everyday drive, it's the most compliant setup that there is. And so when my wife hops in the truck and cruises it, it's not like she's like, well, what'd you do to this truck? Typically, when you modify a vehicle, they know it's modified.
Yeah, right away.
This passes the test. This gets it to where she's happy, I'm happy, we can go have fun off-road. It checks all my boxes. These are fun as hell, but I'm not doing that as much as I used to.
Dude, I can totally relate to that. We just got a 4Runner for my fiance.
Yep.
And the MT Trail Runner is the one that I would install in her rig.
Yes, yes.
This is the one I'm leaving for my daily.
Yes.
I think the perfect daily setup because you can drive fast. I'm a fast driver. Like I love to drive fast.
Okay.
On the street, I get to drive fast, and on the dirt, I get the best of both worlds with this kit, and that's something I would want my family to have.
Yep, and that's what's cool is there's that clear divide between the two different mid-travel packages. It's not really an unsure thing. If you know how you're going to use your vehicle, there's a clear differentiator between these two. So now knowing that you like this and you like to have fun, are you ready for what's next?
So I was thinking about that a lot, and I'm like, with this pre-runner setup that
Yes.
I got to experience, you guys pushed the bar so far, I cannot imagine where you guys are going to be with long travel. Like, where is this going to go?
It's the next step. So, we have MT Trail Runner, we have MT Pre-Runner, and the next thing comes long travel. And so that's what we're going to be doing on your vehicle, and you're going to have the first Dirt King long travel kit on a 24 and up Tacoma.
I can't wait.
So yeah, we'll be filming it all. You guys will get to see the entire process at the shop. And next time you see this truck, it'll be getting transformed.
I know that here we touched on, the basics of suspension, mid-travel. We're not gonna touch fully on long travel in this video,
Yes.
but everything you need to know about long travel is now gonna happen as this truck gets built with the first Dirt King kit. Can't wait, dude.
Yep.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Hell yeah.